Arrive at Poinsett State Park.
All right, Clark, family camping trip number 2.
This is part 1 though.
But it's number 2.
But this is camping trip number 2. Yeah. So we got the MSR Habitude 4 that we're going to attempt to set up for the first time. Let's just look.
This is part 1 video though.
Yeah, part 1 is set up tent.
Part 1 is set up tent. Part 2, I don't know.
Alright, well, we got it all set up. Definitely a lot bigger than the other one, but it definitely took twice as long to set up. Okay, it's on now.
Hi guys, we just got back from our trail and we're super exhausted. So, we just slept in the tent last night and we went to the playground. We went to go see some lake. We walked back. Now we're just feeding the dogs and we're sitting here drinking. Pretty much we're not really doing anything, but I wanted to make this video and say how good you guys were going. So, how good are you going? Like that in the comment.
I think she's saying like and subscribe. So one thing that I'll say is that we slept in the bigger tent last night, which was nice because it had space. Although I think it was colder in the bigger tent because the smaller one kept our heat in. So yeah, I was cold, and then I get my sleeping bag and it was hot, and then I'd have to get out because it was cold.
And then he got cold again, then he got hot, then he got cold again. So really, just came back. So like and hit that subscribe button. And I like this thing because it's cold, and I love cold when I'm like hot, so.
Okay, we're gonna make some hot dogs for lunch.
Bye guys! I hope you have some too, like us.
Alright, good morning. It is day 3 Sunday here at Poinsett State Park. It's 42 degrees today, and yeah, that tent, it was a little chilly in there, but we had plenty of room. I went with a new sleeping setup. I went with a sleeping bag insert with a blanket, and it worked out great. So yeah, Mel's making her coffee. Got the new tea kettle thing. They didn't send a lid for us, so we had to improvise. And she got this little coffee filter that sits on top of her cup like that, and then she puts the coffee in there and pours it in. She says it's delicious. Although yesterday when she made coffee, she didn't have any creamer, so she had to use butter. Almost made her cry, but she didn't. Coffee is very important. So anyways, I'm gonna pack this thing up here in a little bit, get the heck out of here. Next time we go camping is going to be in 2 weeks, and we're going with some co-workers of mine. Well, not some, but one co-worker of mine and his family, and we're going back to Watery. So hopefully next time we can get a little tour of the park. We'll see. Alright then, I'm gonna go check on Chloe. She's still asleep. Hey Chloe. Chloe.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm in bed.
Did you sleep good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I see your face? Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you comfy?
Yeah. This blanket is comfortable.
That blanket is comfortable, you're right. We just got that one. It's called a rumple blanket. It's made out of recycled plastic bottles. That's pretty cool. Alright, well I'm gonna go check on Mom and her coffee, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. I'm gonna go back to doing my thing.
Okay.
Let's see how this coffee process is going.
Did the water boil yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got coffee in a filter. And it's drooping down into the cup.
It's the best part.
That's right, but it's not Folgers, it's Dunkin' in your cup. Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts.
Thanks, Duncan. Saved my life. This camping adventure.
Through the last of the wood that we had for our little campfire. The dogs are all tied up. They got this new, tied a rope onto the,
I think the brand's on the bag.
on the table. And the other side goes to this tree, and you're able to tie it up, and then on the rope is a carabiner, and then the dog's leash hooks to it, and they're able to slide back and forth. So instead of being tied to the table all the time, which this dog just gets himself wrapped around the table legs, because we didn't have 2 trees close enough for the length of rope that we had. So we had to improvise. So anyways, that's what Chloe and Mel are up to.
Chloe's not.
I am making some sausage on our new pan. Last time we went camping, we had a pan that we got from the Dollar General that had like a bowl sides. And this one is more square, so it's definitely holding this pound of sausage better than the last one, because last time we made tacos and we used hamburger ground beef, and it kept wanting to fall out of the sides, which was good for the dogs, but not good for us. So, trying this out, this new pan. Seems to be working great so far. It's got this little handle on it that when you're done, it just folds up and you can pack it away. The one thing that you got to be careful with is this little burner only has these 3 little legs, so if you press on this side, it wants to tip. So you can't, you gotta make sure you're holding on to it or it'll fall off. After this, we're gonna scramble up some eggs. Gotta figure out how to drain this though. So that'll be fun. But it should be good.
Now on to what I'm doing. Is I'm writing things about for our next video, and this is what I'm doing.
Chloe is the director.
I write the thing.
Maybe the producer.
Yeah. She wants to make sure that everybody likes and subscribes to our video.
And give those thumbs up.
She said she wants you to smash that like button.
And hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe to our video. We're going to try to make one of these every time we go camping. And we already got our next trip lined up like we said earlier.
Yeah, but we have to do that the other weekend, because the next weekend we're going to have Halloween, so we can make some videos.
Yeah, Chloe wants to go around and get some candy.
And we had a Halloween party, and we want to have a haunted.
What you doing, Mel?
Baking eggs.
Okay, gonna scramble some eggs up.
Try not to put shells in it.
Ew, gives you some protein.
Calcium.
Chloe won't eat eggs unless they're scrambled, so that's the only way we're allowed to cook them.
Done. Because 6 is Kansas.
Chloe's making a list of everything we want to talk about.
I put 6.
So anyways, we're going to make these eggs, and then we're going to
it's burning.
dump them into here and have a little scrambly egg sausage skillet. It's going to be delicious.
Dad, nose.
What are you doing?
I am making some sausage.
Yeah? Are you stirring it up?
Yeah, I'm stirring. It's a little bit hard, so you gotta be careful. And you also have to have an adult.
Why is it hard?
Because it's hard, because if you tip it right over, it can fall, and you wouldn't have anything else to eat. You would have to clean it, and then you would only have eggs.
Got it.
So please, if you want to make sausage and you're like 6, like me, you gotta have an adult.
Here we go. See if this works.
I don't think you're saying ew in the video.
Looks like it's getting there. Scrambly sausage skillet. I'll put some cheese in it.
There's eggs. Okay, I'm going to take the first bite, everyone. Mmm.
What do you think, Chloe?
Mmm.
It's not disgusting?
It's actually really good.
Let's see, take a bite.
It gave me a crocodile again. No, not worth it. But a rainbow steampunk crocodile is.
Man, that was a big bite. It must be good.
It's real good.
Hello everyone, we are currently at Poinsett Park. This is our second camping destination. At this particular park, we were at campsite 30 right here. So 30, that's our camp area. This is the road. Back here, this building is where the restrooms and showers are located for both guys and girls, gals. So there's about 2 showers in each room and some bathroom stalls, sink. So it was really good for our camping adventures, was to be close to the bathroom. It worked out great for us. Campsite 30, as you walk, you have your own kind of entranceway. This is a really nice thing about Poinsett Park, is that the campsites are kind of individualized and give you plenty of space. Another nice thing about Poinsett Park camping is that the sites for tent camping, at least on this side where the RVs are located, are flat and leveled. So you can definitely ensure that your campsite is going to be level when putting your tent. The other nice thing is that it's pretty spacious. You come over here, your site comes with a fire pit, which we did use on this camping adventure. It came in very handy, especially this morning when it was really chilly. This morning was in the lower 40s, so it was nice to be able to have a dedicated fire pit that's actually pretty well intact for use. It also comes with a picnic table, and also, like I said, it's very roomy, plenty of space. So even though we have our 4-person tent, you can see that you have enough space if we wanted to have another 4-person tent. I believe this site is for 6 campers, but obviously you could probably fit in another family if you wanted to come and camp as a group. On the other side of this camping location, there's also primitive camping, which offers a little bit more space, but not as level of a spot. And definitely the restroom areas are very limited as well. So they do have, on the primitive side, 2 restroom stalls, but no showers, and a outdoor hand washing station for your use. So these here are a little bit more expensive, but they do come, like I said, leveled, as well as some water capabilities. It comes with this spigot that you could hook a hose up to if you wanted. We used this to wash our dishes and hands, and it was really handy. Matt, is there anything you would like to say about this campsite? No. Okay.
We'll do it in the wrap-up.
Okay, in the wrap-up, Matt will talk a little bit about Poinsett Park and our camping gear, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we needed, what we didn't bring, and that we ended up having to purchase as well. Sure, Chloe, what would you like to say?
Well, I think about Poinsett Park is that there's a park. That's why they call it Poinsett Park. Because I like parks. And, well, I think it's a good sight. And you get to see trees, and you get to see living creatures and living bugs.
Yeah, you get a lot of space.
I just saw a bug just hopping to its light. It wasn't like it wasn't a grasshopper. I just saw a bug it was like dark brown with a little bit of gold maybe with it.
Was it like a cricket?
And, yeah, and it was just hopping to its light. I told Daddy.
There's a lot of space in between the other campers, so even though this park does have, does get quite busy on the weekends, there is a lot of space in between, so you don't feel kind of like every camper is on top of you. You do feel like this is your own space, and yet you can still, Chloe had a good time making friends with some of the campers.
I had a friend, but she left the other day.
Yeah, she was across from us.
Two boyfriends, and they're leaving today.
So, all in all, I think this was a really good spot for purchase here at Poinsett. We spent, for this particular weekend, though I think it's in season, so it's a little bit more expensive than, maybe an off season. I think we spent $48 for 2 nights, which is pricey considering we were at Watery and we spent about $15. But that was also a military recreation center, and this is more of a state park area. But you do get, a nice level campsite, plenty of space to park 1 to 2 vehicles, and offers a little bit more space if you want to have additional campers with you.
Alright, it was easy to tear down, especially with 2 people. What'd you think? Yeah, didn't take very long at all. Folds up into this sack. So, definitely a win on this tent, especially for the space. Cool.
Hello everyone, welcome to Mommy, Chloe, and Daddy's video.
Okay, so this is our camping trip number 2, and we are at Poinsett Park in South Carolina, which is kind of in the middle of the state. It's about 30 minutes from Shaw Air Force Base where we live. Probably 30 minutes from Columbia, maybe 40 minutes or so from Columbia. And overall we had a good time. So some things we'd like to talk about first from the last video was the sleeping situation. And I was super uncomfortable last week. It was our first time. And we got these mummy sleeping bags, which are incredibly warm if you're a back sleeper, which I am not, and neither is Melanie. So they're nice, but once you zip them up, they're very restrictive and you can't move around. And we're both side sleepers, so I think we need to find a way to address the side sleeping issue, which I did by buying a sleeping bag liner and this rumple down blanket. And the sleeping bag liner is kind of like a sleeping bag, but it's more square shaped. And thanks, Piper, photobombing us. But it's just like a sheet, and that's really all it is. And you can get in it and keep yourself comfortable. The thing I liked about it is I like to sleep with a little body pillow, so I have a little blow-up pillow, and it would keep it near me, I guess. And then this rumple blanket really kept us warm. So, or really kept me warm anyways. So Mel slept in the mummy sleeping bag again, and she can't zip it all the way up, or it makes it too restrictive and you can't move around. So That's something we need to address as well. Chloe's sleeping bag is like a rectangle, so she's got plenty of room to move around in it.
Yeah, but then I got like I kept on slipping out of it. So then I said, Mommy, I need the blanket because I'm cold, and I keep on slipping out of my sleeping bag. So she gave it to me.
Yeah, I think she slips out of her sleeping bag because she doesn't get into it all the way when she goes to sleep. So we'll fix that for next time too.
But it was real cold. It was real cold on my pillow, so that's why I had to move down to the mat, and then it was just cold on my mat. So then, yeah.
So another thing I got was the Helinox Camp Cot Max, and that did a really good job of giving you a base to sleep on, and then I also put my air pad on top of that, and it really made it nice. It kept you off the ground probably 4 to 6 inches or so, and it really helped. And speaking of sleeping, we are in our new Habitude 4 tent from MSR. Last week we were in the Big Agnus 3-person tent, which was very cozy, and one thing that I will say about that one is it was a lot warmer in that tent than it was in this 4-person tent, just because it had a lot more size.
And well, I felt like it was just a 2-person tent, but it was actually a 3. But yeah. I think what they meant by there's a 3-kid person tent.
It could be a 3-kid. So anyways, the other one is a 3-person tent, and it definitely could fit 2 people comfortably with sleeping pads. This one was a 4-person tent, and we had 3 people in it comfortably with sleeping pads. We had to stop the video there for a minute. We were letting one of our dogs run around, and we decided to take off. Not a very good idea. So anyways, we were talking about the Habitude 4-person tent. It fit 3 people on there great, 2 adults, 1 kid, 1 cot, 2 sleeping pads.
You could stand upright.
Yeah, I could stand up
and actually change clothes and move around a little bit better. You know, there was enough space to kind of maneuver in and out of the tent without stepping on everyone or stepping on the mats. So that was kind of nice.
That was nice. We could get in and out. Although in the middle of the night, if you got to get up, you got the zipper sound that opens, so it's hard to not wake everybody up. But at least we weren't stepping on top of each other like we would have been in the smaller tent. When we go camping next summer, when we have all the kids, then I think it's going to work out good. We'll have the Habitude 4.
We're going to have 5 people tent.
We'll have the Habitude 4-person tent with the 3 kids, and then we'll have the other one for the 2 adults.
But I think that we could have, I think what he's trying to say is that we can make the 4-person tent, since we have an older sister. I think she'll go well with the 4-person tent because she's older than us and she's taller. So, and they're going to sleep in the 2-person tent. Well, it actually is a 3-person tent, but I think they made it as a 2-person tent and lied about that.
Yeah. So another thing we like to do out here is cook, and I don't know that we did as much cooking as we did last time.
Yeah, I think we had to postpone some of our vacation to go to REI. So we had to go to Columbia.
Yeah, I'm kind of a diva, and I just didn't want to stay another night being uncomfortable because
in the sleeping situation.
Yeah, so we had to go to Columbia, which is like an hour and 20 minutes or so to get to REI. Did a little shopping there. We got Mel a pair of shoes.
Yes.
And
got me some Keen.
Yeah, I got some Keen boots. So next time we come out here, we can go walk the trails, which we'll get to in a minute. And we bought the sleeping stuff. So we kind of missed out on our lunch, so we picked up some lunch from a drive-thru. And
yeah, so we didn't cook, like you were saying, as much as probably we did last time, because we had to step away a little bit to kind of adjust for this trip.
But Friday night we had hobo packs again with sausage, potatoes, carrots, and green beans this time, and it was delicious. That's probably, it's so easy to do. You just put the stuff in some foil, wrap it up, and then we stick it on our little Weber kettle grill for 40 minutes. And, well, we time it 10 minutes, we rotate it, 10 minutes, we flip it, 10 minutes, we rotate it again, pull it off, and it's delicious. And then we put the green beans on there for 20 minutes. and actually we did 15 and they weren't done, so they needed another 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, and they're really great because you can do all of those before your trip. So you can
you
prepare
can prep it all
beforehand, put it in the tin foil, put it in your cooler, and they're ready to go when it's time to cook.
Pro tip for camping trip number 2 is dice up the potatoes. Don't just put them in there. Even though we bought those little bitty potatoes, it's still better to dice them up into little chunks and then cook it like that. So then the next day we were going to make hot dogs for lunch, but we skipped that because we went to REI. And then last night we made kind of hobo packs again, but this time we made steak. So we got a New York strip and we cut it up into little cubes. We put it in the hobo pack. And we also had potatoes and carrots in another one. So we cooked the potatoes and carrots for 40 minutes again. And this time we had broccoli and we did that for 20 minutes. And the steaks we did for 20 and they were overcooked. They weren't tough.
No, they weren't tough. They tasted well, they were well seasoned, but they could have used a little less time. Yeah,
I think probably 12 minutes to 15 minutes max on the steak. We both like our steaks medium rare, and these steaks were well done. Not charred,
burnt, not charred,
they weren't
but chewy.
Just they weren't like we like. Well, we ate them. We ate all of it. So that was really good. But we put a lot of butter in it too, so that's probably what kept it soft.
Well, the last one was like so chewy.
Yeah, some of the fatty parts are chewy. So then we woke up this morning and we made some sausage. We got some ground sausage and we fried that. And
then we got some eggs, and then we had egg yolks, and we poured it in. And then Daddy mixed it up, and then we put cheese in it, and then we mixed it up again.
So I wanted to point out this little camping skillet that we got. This is the MSR 8-inch camping skillet, and as you can see, it's kind of like a cake pan, so it's got square sides instead of the bowl shape, and this really kept that sausage in there. And then it's got this handle that flips out and you can hold, and I mean this thing stayed super clean, nothing burnt to the bottom of it, so whatever MSR, whatever coating they put on this thing was great, because I just took it over to the spigot and it basically just rinsed out.
And look at the bottom of it.
Yeah, and the bottom of it didn't burn like on the last one. So this 40 bucks we got from moosejaw.com, and Moose Jaw offers the military discount. So if you're a veteran or anything like that, you can, I think first responders, all kinds of, they support all kinds of people like that. So you can go on there and get a discount. And so we ended up getting this for less than $40, or right at 40 bucks, and well worth it. We also got this little MSR pack, and it comes with a spoon, a spatula, a little cutting board, and salt and pepper shakers, which we didn't fill up, a little washcloth thing. And we got this last week, and this says it'll do 55 boils for coffee, and I don't doubt it, because we've made a bunch of coffee with it last week and this week. We've cooked a bunch of times with it last week, this week. It's still got some in it. Maybe another couple of coffee boils. I don't know that I would try to do an entire cook with it.
Yeah, but I do think like maybe a coffee or a tea boil probably has at least one or two more.
So that little stove, these things, I mean, I'm pretty impressed. This is the medium size. There's a smaller one than this one, and then there's a really big one that we picked up from Walmart.
It's not the same brand.
It's not the same brand, no. It's Coleman brand, I believe. This is by Jet Boil. And yeah, this is way beyond my expectation on how long this was going to last. So that's it for the gear review. So we want to cover the park now. So we stayed in campsite 30 here at Poinsett Park, which was very close to the bathrooms. The bathroom is nice. It had in the men's bathroom, it had 2 toilets, a urinal, and 2 showers. And it had hot water-ish when I took a shower, but then it ran out really quick, so I don't know if I took a shower at night, so maybe everybody else was trying to shower at the same time.
It was a pretty crowded park starting Friday night through Saturday night. This is probably the peak camping season for South Carolina, just because the weather is the most conducive for camping. The women's was a little bit about the same. We had 2 showers, 3 stalls, and 2 sinks to use.
Yeah.
So fairly clean. Obviously, it was really crowded, so over time, you know.
Yeah, the men's bathroom got kind of gross, I guess. I mean, again, one thing I learned about being in the military is you always wear shower shoes or flip-flops or something in the shower, walking through any type of bathroom, so you never take your shoes off in that place. And yeah, it worked well. The next day it had hot water though, so maybe it was just that night that the hot water ran out. But then we stayed in our campsite, which was right across the street. Mel did a little vlog on that, so we won't get too much into that. But the campsite was nice, had a lot of space. Had a table, there was plenty of room if you wanted to put 2 tents in here, and yeah, it was great. So the space part was awesome. There's trees everywhere. Yeah,
it's very different than Watery. Watery, it's a little bit more spaced out. There's not as many trees, but you are on the water. Here you get more of that forest vibe.
Yeah, you're in the woods.
You're in the woods here. So, I mean, it's apples and oranges in comparison when it comes to landscape and background scenery.
Yeah.
But the price difference is there.
Yeah,
so.
We paid almost $50 to stay here. I think it was $48 or something after tax for 2 nights. Where at Watery it was $7.50 a night, so it was $15 for the whole weekend. And the showers were bigger, nicer. But that is a military park. So it's kind of a military perk that it's a discounted rate. So not everybody can get into Watery, but everybody can get into this state park, and you can reserve it online, which was cool.
Yeah, that was really nice.
So we went online and we just reserved our 2 spots, so we didn't have to go to an office or anything like that and check in. We just paid online and did it like that.
And that was through, I think, South Carolina State Park.
Yeah, the thing
website.
I didn't like about it was a 2-night minimum. So you couldn't just come, if you were a traveler, you know, if I was on my motorcycle and I was headed to go somewhere, I couldn't just stay here for 1 night. At least checking in online. I might be able to go to the office and get 1 night in the primitive spots, or I'm not sure about that. So the 2-night minimum kind of sucked, but another thing I didn't like was there was no trash cans here. There's only one central spot for trash cans that you have to walk a long ways or put your trash in your vehicle and take it over there. Whereas at Watery, I mean, there was trash cans everywhere. So, and the staff did a good job of coming around there all the time picking up trash out of the trash cans.
Whereas I did see staff driving through to make sure everything was safe. So you do feel safe here at Poinsett. They do keep they do a really good job at driving through and making sure everybody's following the rules and it's safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a state park. I don't know how much money goes into that. So I'm pretty limited the trash because of, you know, obviously you don't want, I mean, because trash cans can blow out and trash gets everywhere as well. So if they don't have the resources to change out the trash cans as often, then, you know, they do have at the very beginning, as soon as you get into the campsite, there is multiple dumpsters that you can use. But I would advise, if you are going to come at least to Poinsett, I'm not sure about other state parks because this is our first state park, South Carolina State Park adventure. So I definitely make sure that if you're going to bring your camping gear, bring some extra trash bags for yourself.
And I just want to give a big shout out to Kansas City, to Grandma Meyer and Grandpa Edward.
Yeah, not Kansas City, but just Grandma Meyer and Granddad Meyer are in Kansas, not Kansas City. But
I just want to give a big shout out to them because I love them.
Yeah, we love them too. We love all of our family.
So we're going to send them this video first. And I do have a trophy that I might give it to them.
So how did you sleep though? Like, I mean, it was kind of noisy here. There was a bunch of wildlife There was some coyotes in the distance and bugs. But the people were pretty quiet. I mean, pretty much after 10 p.m., there wasn't too much. There was that dog that was, I don't know where it was, but it was very loud.
On the first night?
Yeah. A dog kept barking. And
I think the first night was hard in general. This is the one thing we're debating, because again, this is our first, well, we're new, we're novice to camping, so I don't know if the first night's ever going to be a good night's sleep until you get just used to camping.
Then one of them,
because I feel like there's so much anticipation and excitement to just sleep.
That's
and
true,
then when you get here, you just can't prepare yourself for other people being around and barking dogs. And it could just be something like we talked about earlier, where we said maybe take some time off and go during the week, which would be less expensive than on a weekend. And if you obviously can't see, but we are probably the last.
We're the last survivors of the weekend. Everybody else is packed up.
I think there's a tent maybe right across that just set up yesterday, so they may be staying a little longer, but it is super quiet. So I think maybe trying during the week might be more. Yeah,
so that brings us to our next point. Things that we need for next time. Which, by the way, we're looking for sponsors. If anybody wants to hook us up, Grandma, Grandpa. We need to get we need to get some earplugs, because it's just so loud sometimes that you hear everything. You hear every car driving by and every person walking by and every dog bark, and so you're just up 10 times during the night, whether it's from being cold, uncomfortable, you hear something, whatever. So earplugs is definitely on the to-do get list for our next trip, which is in 2 weeks.
Which we did attempt. We did attempt.
We went to REI, and they had a little travel thing of earplugs that had 6 earplugs, and it was $9. So we could each have our own set of earplugs, but for $9,
we did attempt Dollar General. There is a Dollar General that is about 10 minutes from this location. It's halfway from where we currently live. But apparently everybody had the same idea because they were out. So we did not get earplugs on this one. So maybe try it again with earplugs. Next is probably a little table.
Yeah, so I got this chair. It's a Helinox XL chair, which is very comfortable. I kind of wish I would have got the regular chair, because this one's just a little big. Which being big is comfortable, but being big is not going to help me put it into my motorcycle when I go to do some motorcycle camping. It's just going to take up a little more room. But anyways, Helinox makes a camp table that folds down real small, so I think we're going to put that on our to-do list for our next trip in 2 weeks, is get that.
Yes. And then also investing in an air pump for our sleeping pads.
Yeah, our sleeping pads, yeah.
I mean, they're not horrible to try to blow up, but I think it would just be nice to have a nice portable. It takes a couple of minutes, and
yeah, it can blow it up for you and save your lungs, and you can be doing something else to get set up instead of blowing your sleeping pad up. So Mel's sleeping pad is like a self-inflating pad, but you can also put extra air in it to firm it up a little bit, and you can blow it up, I guess. My sleeping pad has this bag that you open up and then you roll it down to put air in it, and it takes probably 15 rolls of that thing, and by the 15th roll my wrists are just on fire from rolling that bag down.
I think it would just help speed up our setup. Not that it's taking that long, and it's not like we don't have anything else, to do in the middle of our camping. There's a lot of time to do it, but like you said, just so we could do something else would be nicer.
And the last thing we need to bring next time is something for Chloe that she wanted to put on the list, and that's her teddy bear.
Yes, because I really love him so much, and that belongs from my grandma.
That's right. Yeah, your grandma Ford made that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, she forgot her teddy bear, so we need to make sure we put that in the camping supplies next time.
We did this time, from our first trip, we just had a cardboard box to hold all of our gear in that we thought we would need. Since then, we have upgraded to a Craftsman plastic container. I don't know how many gallons.
I think it was a 30-gallon or 40-gallon. It's not huge, but it's not small.
And that's really nice. It's a lot better than a cardboard box.
It is, but it's still disorganized.
Well, I did buy some containers.
That's true. So we did go to the Dollar General yesterday on our way back because we had to get some beer and we had to get some
milk.
Milk, yeah, because we forgot milk for Mel's coffee. Excuse me, coffee. So we didn't have any milk for her coffee. So she also bought some of those cheap Tupperware in various sizes, and we were able to put some things and organize it a little bit.
Yeah. So, but it is nice to have a container. What we, also the gear that we forgot, which was another reason why we had to go to REI and Dollar General and waste a lot of our time, is because these were just things that as we were going along, we were like, oh my God, we don't have tongs.
We don't have tongs.
We don't have dog food bowls.
No dog food bowls. No ketchup.
Even though we thought we prepared pretty well for this, we obviously did not.
Yeah, so we need to take a second look at our list and make sure that Mel's got a great idea though, she got a little Tupperware, and every time we go through the drive-thru, when they throw 10 ketchup packets in there that you don't use, we're just going to put them in this little Tupperware thing, and that way we don't have to
buy big bottles and worry about putting them on ice.
Yeah, because last time we went out camping, we had to buy more ketchup and mustard, so now our fridge has like 3 bottles of ketchup.
And funny is that we actually forgot ketchup and mustard again, and we refused to buy ketchup and mustard, which has also put a damper on our hot dog situation.
Yeah.
So we were just like, well, we don't want to go.
Okay, we'll go use the thing.
We don't want to have to keep buying ketchup and mustard every time. So we thought maybe just some ketchup packets or Arby's sauce or whatever, just to kind of flavor our food, since they give it to us anyway, and instead of wasting them, they can now be a part of our camping tote of seasoning, which can be handy. Little peppers, salts.
Yeah. So where are we going next?
Our next adventure is going to be in 2 weekends from now, and we're going to do Watery again. But this time we are going with one of Matt's co-workers and his family. So this will be kind of fun to try camping with some other campers.
Yeah, some other campers, some other kids.
Yeah, so Chloe can have some friends to play with, guaranteed.
And we can have some adults to talk to.
Yes.
And so that should be fun.
Not that we don't enjoy hanging out with one another.
If there's one thing that this has really proved, is that, especially because you come out to these remote places, and last weekend at Watery our phones didn't work at all, and this weekend they barely worked, but I mean, I found that I didn't even, I was barely on it. I mean, I was on it, I'm not gonna lie, I got on it.
You had to buy the camping gear,
yeah,
so
I had to go find the REI stuff. But just to buy those like 3 things took me 30 minutes because my signal was so terrible.
And I probably used mine only at night.
Yeah.
Because of my BitLife.
Her Big Life addiction.
I use that to go to sleep at night. So I don't know how many characters I create in BitLife, but that's what gets me to kind of like go to sleep.
But we did sit around the fire last night after dinner and just hung out, and this has been a lot of fun if we can figure out the sleeping stuff. That is the worst part about the whole thing.
So I'm not sure if you're supposed to sleep when you're camping at this point. I think maybe you just take a lot of naps, and I don't know if maybe somebody can chime in and anybody else that does tent camping and say whether or not they actually get a good night's sleep, or if this is pretty normal.
Give us a comment on what we need to be, what are we doing wrong?
Other than being divas.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we've got cots, we've got sleeping pads, we've got
blankets,
sleeping bags,
pillows,
blankets, and pillows. I mean, we have full-size pillows, and I just still wake up tired. But
I think it's hard to, like we said, there's things that you can't plan for, like bathroom breaks. You know, 5 in the morning when you're like, do I really have to go? And then you have to leave your tent and you're gonna have to go walk. And it's chilly out.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to go back to sleep after that. So I don't know.
But then after next week, we want to go to, what's the next place? Dreyer Island?
There's Dreyer Island is on our list of locations.
That's another state park.
That's another state park. The other state park that we were looking into that was recommended was Hamilton Beach, South Carolina State Park.
And we want to try out a mountains one too.
Yeah, there's one called Sadler's Creek towards the very western side of South Carolina. It's probably 3 hours away. It's probably the most furthest one that we've thought about going to. And then maybe towards the springtime, head over towards the coast. I'd like to try a coastal tent camping. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think once it gets colder, though, it's going to start to suck a little bit. Because at night, we woke up this morning and it was 42 degrees. And inside that tent was cold. But I was relatively warm. I mean, I slept in my sweatshirt, my sweatpants, and I had that sheet sleeping bag thing, and I had the rumple down blanket. And I'm telling you, this thing, I don't know how they do it to keep you so warm, because it's so thin and it's very light. But I woke up in the middle of the night and I knew that the blanket was off me. Well, I woke up and I was cold, and I looked down and the blanket had slipped off. And as soon as I pulled it back up, I warmed up almost immediately and fell right back asleep. So kudos to Rumple and their down blanket, because man.
So I'm a little jealous. I think I may end up selling my mummy and getting that set up here.
Although these things are a little pricey, I mean, for how big it is, how compact it is, how light it is, I could easily put this on my motorcycle. This takes up less space than the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is definitely warmer. There is no doubt about that.
I think some of the learning curve that we're also finding out about tent camping, again, being new to this, is when to spend the money on high dollar items and where to cut your corners in some of your needs. So I definitely will give a shout out to Dollar General and their, their tongs and their can openers and that kind of stuff. They're just really nice to keep in your tote or your camping tote or whatever, just so you can have those items and you're not spending a fortune. Because I definitely wouldn't want to, I mean, REI does provide lots of, camping stuff, but I think some of the things you can cut some corners and it'd be perfectly fine. And other things that I was finding when I was like, I'm not spending that much for a blanket.
I mean, I think to get the equal, you'd have to bring like a full-size comforter from your bed at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which wouldn't be so bad because we're car camping, but if you're not car camping and you're trying to pack light, there's no way you're fitting something like that.
Plus, this doesn't get dirty. Like, if you bring your comforter, there's the chance of you getting dirt in it and then having to, stained up or whatever from your camping adventures. If it falls out, you're just going to collect dust and everything. Whereas these are very smooth. They seem something like...
Yeah, they just kind of wipe off.
Wipe off and don't...
Plus, it says you can put it in the washing machine. And another cool thing about this is it turns into a cape at night. So if you're sitting around outside, it has a little clip that you can clip the corners together.
And keep yourself toasty outside.
And keep yourself warm outside when you're not inside the tent. But I use it as just a blanket.
And it folds up and gets stored away really easily. Whereas if you tried to bring your down comforter or your comforter from your bed, you're not folding it in and
a little tiny bag like that.
Bag. So, I mean, the biggest thing is how compact and how easy you can stack stuff up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think learning when to actually spend it and thinking, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. We don't need this.
It is very expensive. I mean,
for us,
we hit on this last time, and I thought that camping was supposed to be minimalistic and cheap, but you start looking at gear like this, and you pay for it to be rolled up and tiny and lightweight. Yeah. And so that's where the cost comes from. I mean, you could go to Walmart and buy a sheet set for 20 bucks.
Yeah.
And this was like 50 bucks. But there's no way you're folding up a sheet set that's gonna, you know, do what you want it to do for...
Yeah, and have the materials that you need to keep it clean.
You get what you pay for. Another good example is the chair that Mel's sitting in. We bought that on Amazon for like 30 bucks, and it fell apart on the first camping trip, and I had to put it all back together because the cord broke. It works now, so we're fine, but I mean, you know, it folds up small and it's a camping chair, but anyways, we're just rambling now.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're gonna sign off. Next trip, like I said, is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And then the next one's gonna hopefully be Dreher Island. I don't know when, but soon, because once it gets too cold.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do this.
We wanted to go next weekend again, but it's Halloween and Chloe wants to do some trick-or-treating, and Mel's got a prior thing that she's got to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's it.
So we probably have one more, probably 2 weekends in November, and then probably a little break until.
Boo.
Maybe we'll see. We might want to tough out a winter. I don't know.
Yeah, if it gets too cold, then it's just miserable, and I'm gonna need 2 of these things to keep me warm. They have, this is the single person, and then they have a 2-person one as well. So maybe we'll get the 2-person one next, and the 2-person one would be cool just because it's bigger. Yeah. I thought this one would be big enough, but it did slide off. I don't know. Anyways, that's all we got this time from Poinsett State Park here in South Carolina, spot number 30. We will be doing an extra video that's going to be nothing but the Habitude 4 MSR tent, more of a tent review walkthrough that we're not gonna include on this, so be looking for that. You got anything else?
Get yourself some Crocs or frocks.
Yeah, Mel got her frocks from Walmart, baked Crocs that she can wear in the shower.
Yes, I did not bring these. I did not have any last trip. I did have some flip-flops, but these are way more handy in the camping environment. So I've had some friends recommend getting some Crocs or Croc-like shoes for camping. That is legit.
Perfect. So shout out again. Chloe wanted to send another shout out to Grandma and Granddad Meyer. She wrote it at the very bottom of our list here. Of things to go through, and that she loves you guys, and she knows that you're going to be watching. So when you are watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and like our video. Other than that, we're going to sign off and head back home and unpack.
And unpack and
yeah, go to sleep, maybe take a nap. All right then, peace.